Hi everyone. I believe it's still week 21 of my no-buy. I originally intended to share the try-on for all the other pieces in my closet that weren't tried on in the first component of this video, which went up on Monday. But I had 2 hours of footage that needed to be cut down, and I realized I was never going to make it in time for Thursday because I have a pretty full work week this week. So here I am doing a little chat on declutters and how I think it's become a somewhat irresponsible trend. So part of the reason I'm making this video is because part of my process is actually a declutter. And I want to assure you, the viewer, that I'm doing this responsibly and I'm not taking it lightly. So I think declutters have become a major problem with consumerism these days. I think the declutter has become a massively trending video to make and a topic and a thing to do. You know, reorganizing, decluttering, revamping your space, making it more aesthetic in numerous different ways. But I think the problem with the declutter is that it disrupts the cycle of stuff, or it puts this step in the cycle of stuff that wasn't there before. If we know when we buy an item that decluttering it is an option for the end of life of the item in at least our collections, we might buy a little bit less responsibly. If when we buy an item, we intend to keep it forever, or as far as it's usable, as long as it's usable and not damaged or not broken beyond repair, then we might buy things a little more intentionally. We're not seeing this in the media these days. We're seeing all sorts of large creators accumulating tons and tons of goods and things and stuff, clothes, makeup, homewares, and then periodically decluttering. And the fact that we see it so much is making it appear more normal to those of us consuming that content. I'm not going to show footage from others' videos because I don't like doing that, actually. I don't like the idea of taking other creators' stuff out of context or kind of putting them up for judgment. That's not really what I'm about here. But if you've seen some of what I'm talking about, you know what it looks like, right? People going through their massive collections of things and then getting rid of a good portion of it, only to refill their collection with more stuff as stuff continues to inflow in. And initially, it might appear that that's kind of what I'm doing in my own closet declutter and reorganization, and it kind of is. I have accumulated a vast collection of things, and I'm trying to pare it down. When you see my wardrobe try-on second installment on Monday next week, hopefully, you'll actually see that I didn't really declutter that many things relative to the amount that I have. And there is a reason for that. I'm trying to do it very carefully and slowly, and I'm also making sure that each item gets a responsible new home. So if I can't resell the item, I will probably actually hang on to the things that are my old clothes, because I have children that may grow up to be in need of clothes of that nature. And ultimately, we do have the space where I can store a plastic tub of clothes for their future use. So that'll be more sustainable than either trying to donate it and not actually knowing that it's gotten donated, or throwing it away. Anyway, decluttering as a practice, like I said, has disrupted the flow of the life cycle of articles that we bring into our lives. And I just think that this needs to be denormalized, disincentivized. I just think it needs to stop. And it needs to stop because of us making better buying decisions in the first place. There's a creator on here who's also all about conscious consumerism. Her name is Shauna Raipari. If you're here, you probably know her already. But I love something that she says about influencers, and she doesn't hesitate to say that nobody is making influencers accumulate all this stuff and then declutter it. Nobody is forcing them to do that as their job. Nobody's forcing them to overconsume and try to sell that to their viewers. And I would go on further to say that influencing is such a new job, as it were, that it doesn't need to exist. Basically, an influencer is a type of salesperson. And I know, me personally, I've always shuddered at the thought of having to sell people things. I would much rather work in a profession where people come to your service to fulfill needs of their own or to gain. I mean, I work in entertainment, essentially, as a performer, a musical performer. And I know there's an element of salesmanship as far as getting people to sponsor us and donate and keep the arts alive and things like that. But the cause, the art that you consume, is not a physical product that takes resources from the environment in the same way that a cheap t-shirt would take resources and the people doing the labor for that are not being paid fairly, and they're not having a very satisfying time at work, whereas I'm getting to create what I believe is art. Anyway, so nobody's making influencers, be the salesman. They're getting paid, some of them are getting paid very lucratively to do so, and therefore it becomes a more desirable career with a desirable lifestyle. But influencers do not have to exist, and they certainly do not have to consume and declutter in the way that they do. So if you've seen the first installment of my wardrobe video, please don't take that as an influencer decluttering. I'm not an influencer, and I didn't actually declutter that much. Let me know what you think about decluttering. Let me know if you felt some of the symptoms of this yourself. I know it's satisfying to watch people go through their collections and keep just the cream of the crop, pare down to just the pieces they truly love. But the question that this begs is, why do we have so many pieces that we don't truly love in the first place? All right, I'm going to leave you there on this one. I will see you in the next one on Monday. Back to trying on the rest of the clothes in my wardrobe. Thank you so much for being here. Bye for now. Yes, I took my glasses off to film because they reflect too much light. And also, I look like this with glasses. Not that that's a bad thing. You'll actually see me in glasses for the wardrobe try-on video. Not decluttering because it's trendy. I actually hope that this will be the final declutter. Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da. Because I'm not buying more stuff that I don't need.